Don't you think that they've had scientists study the Mayan calendar and look at it and use doomsday as the cover, as opposed to looking at the Maya and what's happening and looking at the science and the discovery that, without any question, in the last 6 months of your life, it has changed forever with the discovery of the Higgs boson particle, the so-called God particle that makes up the fabric of the universe. Think of this. The universe is one thing called dark matter. Was proven to be a physical particle existing in the universe called the Higgs boson particle, and they verified it 2 weeks ago. Your life has changed.
Yes.
It's over. That world, whatever you thought before they prove that they see something that exists physically that does not absorb light or is magnetic. Okay? That's what they concluded. And that's the universe is suspended in that, and every molecule and every cell and every atom in your body is suspended in that force. So we are all one. And that's a scientific proven fact. And what are we going to do being all one? And the decisions we're going to make today as we talk. And remember, people manipulate the energies of the cycles. Mm-hmm. You can either do it for good or you can do it for control. And I believe in ideology, exactly what she's saying. You use words that affect the spiritual part of the shift. And then you attach to it because the flow of the energy. The Maya say the next 52 years, and this is what all my programs are about today, death, and what the Maya say. And how do you look to see if it's true? Okay, because I studied them longer than I've studied death. But here we are, everybody. It's World War, world peace. It's in our hands. That's the shift if there ever was one. And the president just came back from over there. So whatever the deals were, they are in play.
There we go. And I think let me just throw a media answer into that. For example, my radio show, Strange Universe Radio, #2 on TalkStream. Hold on 1 second. But I look at everybody else on TalkStream, and I see their blind spots. For example, you call up Sean Hannity and say, hey, Sean Hannity, guess what? 600 of the richest people in the world are meeting in Chantilly, Virginia in May. Why don't you tell us what you know about the Bilderbergers? And Hannity goes, I know what you're talking about. You're crazy. Click. Hangs up the phone on you. Mark Levin. It's like, we just need to turn the Middle East into green glass. We just need to do everything that Israel says and just kill all the Arabs. And people are sick of war and sick of that. Dennis Miller, I don't even know what he thinks half the time. But Glenn Beck. You call up Glenn Beck and say, hey, Glenn Beck, why don't you tell us about all the weird stuff about 9/11? I don't know what you're talking about. You're a wingnut. You're crazy. Hangs up the phone on you. Even Alex Jones. Hey, Alex Jones, why don't you tell us about how your attorneys are all up with the Bronfmans? And, why don't you tell us once again, he's one of these neocons that believes we should just kill everybody on the planet. Or don't even get me started on Michael Savage, screaming about, I hate gays and, I hate Arabs and I hate everybody. You ever notice that the more American you claim to be, the more Americans you actually hate? So with that process in place, with a radio show that comes off a little bit tamer, and I don't care what anybody says or thinks. I'm too funny to kill, obviously. So if you try to put it in with a little grace, a little style and a smile, but the media propaganda machine is falling apart. ABC, CBS, and NBC might as well just be called the Ministry of Truth, right out of 1984. If you want to take Obama's past, he doesn't have any old. He has. And here's what the presidential library. Once Obama gets done, so the presidential library will be nothing but big white rooms with big blank walls. Big blank walls because we don't know anything about the guy. Everything's been thrown down the memory hole. His college record's been thrown down the memory hole. Occidental College, his passport, his birth certificate. He has no previous girlfriends. You ever notice there's nobody that ever dated Barack Obama? Nobody except young Arab men. And the challenge behind this is that all of this has been thrown into the memory hole. You know how the media loves to play gotcha with people? Has anybody ever played gotcha with the President of the United States? Ever? And so this is is the propaganda machine. This is the sheen. This is the dust, the glamour, the elven glamour that's being thrown over your eyes to be able to process this. And what's it covering up? You can't be mad at Barack Obama, because that's like being pissed off at McDonald's and beating up Ronald McDonald because he's the clown that stands out in front of the store. It's just finding out that Dick Cheney's code name is Bergen, which is the famous name of Edgar Bergen, who had Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snerd, and that he was the puppet that was making George Bush talk, and even the Secret Service knew it. And this is why the media is falling apart. And again, I say this, I said it once and I'll say it again. There are 25,000 forms of media in the United States. That is newspapers, magazines, books, everything you see, everything you hear, everything you read, every song you listen to on the radio is controlled by 6 people. 6 people. 6. And those 6 companies, basically Walt Disney, Viacom, Comcast, what are the ones? Fox, and I'm missing one somewhere. Whatever, I'm missing one of them. But 6 people control everything. Universal was owned. Actually, Universal NBC was owned by General Dynamics, which is the largest defense contractor on earth. And you wonder why the media pounds the drum for war and wants you to kill people. And again, the government tells you guns are bad, and yet we sell guns to everybody on the planet. We give guns to the Mexican drug cartels, but you can't have one. So it's just again,
Social Security Administration.
and Social Security.
Okay.
Yeah, well, now they're telling you when you go in for Medicare, or you go into the doctor, they want to know whether or not you own a gun. They want to know, it's on the form now. Do you own a gun? Because that could affect your health. You could shoot somebody. Anyway, yes, ma'am. Yes. All right, let's get off that. Yes.
I'd like to talk about.
Well, actually, not talk about. Do you have a question for the panel? Okay.
It's on the 22nd
Of
December.
Yes, ma'am.
I had been meditating, and my room became golden light,
Wow.
and it has not stopped.
Cool. Her room became golden light, and it hasn't stopped.
Golden light in this particular room that I meditated.
Yes.
Then,
Can I go over there tonight?
I'd like to see this. Can we come over to your golden room and meditate with your magic cat?
I think that it's like E.T., because the cat is 14 years old.
Your cat is 14 years old, and
Oh,
he
you
started
got
to
it,
glow.
Sean.
He starts playing with these things.
Yes.
And then he got scared of them the first day, but now he's fine with them. The thing is, I want to know how to treat them. I've been giving them love, but this is all new to me.
The cat's doing a great job.
Okay, the question for the tape again is this lovely lady began to meditate. The room turned kind of golden. Her cat began to play with these kind of metaphysical entities, these angelic forces and spirits that are coming in.
They're little circles.
Oh, the spheres, the orbs, yes, which NASA just admitted actually existed. So
So what?
so go ahead.
But it's like we're talking too much about
All right, what are you doing?
government and all that other stuff. To me, this is more important.
And to me also.
Yes.
But there's a
This is a
So-
sign of what's to be.
So how do we
There's a
treat
psychology-
ascended angels and entities that are coming into us?
But
Go.
there's the psychology, and I don't mean to beat it, but the psychology that you're using. Remember, if you were describing this system 5,000 years ago, the system that's been just born, what you would do is have familiars. The Egyptians had cats that were called familiars. We saw it in the Hallows or whatever that series of books was. We saw these same terms. The cat's doing a good job. It's a familiar to you. All you're doing is reinforcing a mindset that existed probably 2,200 years ago. This is how people thought it, so you have a lifetime at some period there, okay? And that's what you have, and so you relate to it in that same mindset. And Sean gives us the details of it. It's those moments like you're having, that's the spiritual side of us, that reinforces we are where we are, and we're supposed to be in this room this day, feeling the feelings as well as the words. Breathe, everybody, and please just feel the feelings and the energies that move in this room.
The same thing that has happened to you has
Microphone.
also happened to me.
Microphone.
So it is not uncommon. You are not experiencing something that is mutually exclusive to your home. It has also happened in my home and has also happened with many, many others like you. So when people look at you and think, oh, this is only happening to you, that is a lie and it's straight from the pit. And I want you to know that you have experienced something that they wish they could experience. That is actual contact with a deity and a divine right deity, young lady. You are a chosen vessel. Please put your hands together and clap for her.
Way in the back. Yes, sir. Question, sir. Last year, Diana. Talked about the shift in financial in our world.
Pretty much called it close as to what Wall Street was going to do.
Called it very close what Wall Street was going to do.
Wall Street going up and the economy still built on a house of cards.
Right.
Where do you see things going in this shift that's coming over the next 12 months?
Where does she see things going in the shift that's coming over the next 12 months? And that's, by the way, that's also what she's talking about in her lecture. Do you have a workshop as well, or just a lecture?
Just a lecture tomorrow,
right.
too.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, they want to keep the deception going as long as possible. They are just flooding more and more fake money, printing and printing and printing it into the system.
Bernanke just printed another $15 trillion, by the way.
And buying up 45 trillion of the mortgages every month. 85 billion mortgages. Trillion. Yeah, I know.
Billion.
It's just unbelievable, the numbers. He says, what is 85 trillion? It means they're buying up everybody's homes. They own everybody's homes.
Welcome to that.
Let's see, for the next year, the banks are the ones that are being lent the money. The people aren't the ones that have the money. So those are the institutions that are putting the money in the markets. That's why the markets are up. But if you look at the ratio of what the actual entities are worth, it's nowhere near what it's pumped up to. It's fake. It's like a balloon, and it's going to pop.
So she's describing collapse.
Yeah.
Okay, over the next 12 or 13 months.
The awareness
that's what
that we
she's
all need to
describing.
have is how you can secure yourself and what you need to have on a spiritual level, on a practical level, water, seeds, food, these sorts of things, and community. And that's how you deal with it, because we're not the people making those decisions, but we can see that it doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense that the market is pumped up. It's fake. It's an illusion. But if you're seeing that, then you're aware. You know it's not real. It's not real.
And collapse, as she's describing it and what you're asking about in the market, collapse of the economy, quote unquote, means the devaluation of a currency. What all this stuff is about that we're looking at, if you watch Cyprus, which is a minute, small 0.00% of the European common market, you are seeing the system collapse. And this is a television show for you to watch the system that we exist. It's basically the euro, but we're so intertwined, it's going to show how purely we're getting either screwed or it's going to collapse.
And the dollar index, 57% of it is the euro. It's all these currencies. It's a basket of currencies.